You are now tuned in with Street Politics with Talessia, reporting from the streets to the White House. With all this latest one-way report, we are here to bring it to you straight and uncut. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Street Politics with Talessia. And today I have with me a guest, Kimberly Klacik. How do you say your last name? Because I don't want to mess that up.
Klacik, yep.
Klacik. She is running for a congressional candidacy in Baltimore, Maryland, District 7. And if y'all don't know that district by now, you must be up under the rock. That is the late Congressman Cummings seats. And she's running for that seat. So she's here today to talk about her run and how everything is going so far, because actually the primaries is what, in 2 more weeks?
We're about a week out, February 4th, next Tuesday.
Okay, a week out. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone. Can you hear me? We was having some technical difficulties. Kim, can you hear me? Let's just give it a second. Hello, Lord Tevek. However you say that. Let me see. Let's see what's going on. Kim, can you hear? She was having some technical difficulties with her phone earlier. So hopefully, just give it a second, you guys. Then we're going to come back in. She might have to come back in and come back out. Well, while we fixing that, I just wanted to send my condolences to Kobe Bryant, to his family, and all the other 7 passengers that lost their life in a plane crash yesterday. It was really kind of really, really hard, like with all those people dying like that. You had him and his daughter. Then you had a coach with his wife and his daughter. Then, of course, there was a pilot. Then there was another lady with kids. So hold on, let's add her back in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Sorry, I was just telling them it was a little difficult. So get back to what we were saying with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them about you running for a congressional seat in Congress.
I decided to throw my hat in the ring on November 9th. I announced it on Fox News, and just been hitting the ground running ever since. Some people don't realize this, but 7 years ago, I started a nonprofit in Baltimore City doing workforce development. So we would get women ready for job interviews. We worked with many employment specialists throughout the city. They would give us a call and let us know if they had someone going for an interview, and we would get them dressed, basically. And a lot of people don't understand, when you're coming out of incarceration, rehabilitation, or even homelessness, you might not have all the professional wear to go to a job interview. So we just wanted to be that shoulder so many women can lean on. In the city, there's a lot of places where you can get men's clothes, but sometimes not a lot for women. So we wanted to do something there. And so with that, we've actually helped over 200 women become gainfully employed. 30% went on to be financially independent. I was in the city schools in 2014 to 2015 teaching soft skills. So I would visit many of the suspension centers, lots of the children going in and out of juvenile detention centers, just trying to teach them, just basics. I guess, when you're going to a job interview, or if you're, just out there talking to people and trying to further your career. And then on top of that, I was interning on Capitol Hill. I helped out with basically just tours through the Architect of Capitol and helping out with members of Congress, getting to where they needed to go. So nothing big. But while I was there, I started writing for a blog called Politichicks. And it's just where women would write in and talk about politics from their perspective. And so with that, I thought, you know what, if I'm on Capitol Hill, why don't I just see if I can interview some members? And during the Benghazi committee hearing is when I actually stopped by Congressman Trey Gowdy's office, asked him for an interview like on the fly, and he said yes. And then that interview caught the attention of One American News. They had me on. And from there, I went to Fox News, News One with Roland Martin, and a couple other shows. So I've been doing, I guess, media now since 2014. And when we put all that together, I decided, you know, when Trump ran for office, I was excited about it. I have to admit, I wasn't on board completely in the very beginning. You know, I was pro Marco Rubio. And as he became the nominee, I said, hey, you know what? Maybe Trump has what it takes. So I got on board. You know, there was a lot of people talking about President Trump. Not everybody loves him, even on the right. But when Congressman Cummings went on a morning talk show and said that his residents were afraid of the president, I thought, you know, that can't be. Because here I've been in Baltimore City for years, and everyone talks about local politics, not really national level. So I took the camera out there and I started interviewing some people, just hanging out on their front porch, you know, people that I have never met before. And then they started basically showing me what was going on with the illegal dumping situation, and that the fact that the sanitation department wasn't coming to clean any of it up, despite them calling for help numerous times. So I decided to take those videos, load them on Twitter. Fox News, you know, they already followed me because I've been on their channel. They called me and said, you know, could you come and explain what's going on? Because it was hard, I guess, for them to understand what exactly was going on with the abandoned homes and the trash. So I did, and then when the president saw it, I guess it just kind of spiraled out of control. But, you know, I just try to tell people, you know, I was never out to try to get the president to talk bad about the city. And I don't think he even meant it the way it kind of was portrayed. I think it was kind of like he knew he had to be edgy in order for them to actually do something about it. You know, sometimes you got to light the fire under someone's feet to get them to work. And since then, it has been getting cleaned up. Baltimore Sun, our local paper, they've been investigating why it hasn't been cleaned up. And I just thought, you know what, why don't we just keep the ball rolling and make sure we can get the city back on its feet, offer more job employment opportunities. You know, working with my nonprofit, I knew that there was a lot lacking as far as that, just not just employment, but the fact that we weren't even utilizing our port. You know, we have the second largest port in the country, and we don't even utilize that. So there's a lot of opportunity for jobs. There's a lot of opportunity from rent to home ownership. When you have 17,000 vacant homes, I mean, there's no reason why we can't flip those and make sure that people that live in the city can actually own a home in the city. So that's, you know, that's my push on the local level.
Right. And I don't know if a lot of y'all don't remember, but it's like you were highlighting a problem. The president retweeted it, and the left got mad at you as if like you're lying about this problem. They just don't like the way Trump had worded it. I mean, to me, you didn't lie about anything. You saying what's really going on. Like, he has been in that seat for years and never addressed none of these problems. And I remember watching some of your videos when some of the people didn't even really know him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you've been in
Yeah.
that how long? How don't the community know you? And then you had other journalists, instead of coming trying to refute what you said, they was attacking you personally, like April, whatever her, what's her
Yeah.
name? Her, whatever
April.
them people name is, coming at you personally as if you're making Baltimore look bad. If Baltimore, you just highlight the problems. That's the part I did. It's like, don't nobody want us to look at them problems, but then when stuff happen, it's like, hey, look, I just didn't understand that, and you kind of handled it pretty good, much better than how I probably would have handled it. With people coming at me, like I'm just showing you, and then they was like, she would never in a chance in hell have a chance with that district. I'm all like, where's y'all getting this stuff? Before this, she been out there, so I don't know what y'all was getting at.
Right. You know, and it was disheartening to see it at first because especially coming from Roland Martin, like I know Roland, right? We've hung out together. You know, it's like he knows my husband, he knows my family. Like for him to say things that he said afterwards, I thought, you know what, that's just how I guess this all works as far as the media and how do you have to stick to that narrative if you're on the left. Because Roland knows that I love Baltimore, and if anything, I want to help Baltimore, and he knows that. But it's I guess whatever to feed the need is what they do.
Right. And it's like, okay, y'all see it's not diverse on the right. Republicans not diverse, but here it is, a African American woman running for a seat, and y'all treating her like she's not worthy to have that seat. And I guess they want to back his wife. But the thing is, I read an article, I don't know if it's true, that his kids, I don't know if it's two of his kids endorsed another candidate.
That's absolutely true. So he has two daughters, and those are Maya Rocketmore Cummings is his widow. Those are her stepdaughters, and I thought that was pretty telling because they could have just stayed quiet. They could have just did nothing at all, but they actually endorsed Harry Spikes, who is his former chief of staff. So to me, that said a lot. I've met
I wonder
I've met
why
her
though. I
personally.
wonder why they didn't endorse her. That right there tells it all for her to, because I've seen interviews with her saying that her husband endorsed her, which I think she's just my personal opinion. I believe that she's lying because he knew he was dying. If he wanted that to be his wishes, he would have told them like, I'm dying. Get this. I want to see if my wife can carry this on. Like none of that came out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And
And
then go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm
No, I was gonna
listening.
say he also the money that he had in his coffer, he also dedicated and wrote in his will that he wanted a lot of his campaign money to go to nonprofit organizations. So if you know your wife is about to run for your seat, why would you take the campaign money and try to out it to a nonprofit that has nothing to do with the DNC, right? So it's like I don't believe what she's saying on that either.
Yeah, she lying. I don't care. She gonna have to show me some facts. So I noticed that you had a debate. Was that with just other Republican candidates, or was that with both?
No, so everybody was there. It was the
Was she
African
there?
American. Yep, she was. Yep, she was there.
So tell us how
It was
that
the
went
African
because
American.
I didn't get to see that. And I will post a link if you do have it. I posted in the description. So if somebody want to go back and watch that link. But how did that debate end up going?
Yeah, so I, you know what, I can get you the link. I can forward that over to you. But it
Okay.
went pretty well. There was only three Republicans that showed up, and there's eight of us total. I think Quasi and Fume was there. He's another top runner in the Democrat side. And so is Jill Carter. She's also a top runner on the Democrats, Republicans. From what I hear, my biggest opponent is Liz Matori, and I know this is a plus 26 Democratic district. I mean, it's blue. So I guess my push
Mhm.
and what I tell just let people know that I'm willing to I'm willing to come to the center, similar to what Hogan does. Now I do like President Trump have in common. I know Governor Hogan isn't a huge fan, but Trump, I let them know that I'm already kind of working with the administration. I took community leaders from West Baltimore down to the well to sit down and talk about what
Mhm.
we can do in those community zones, and how we can get basically, West Baltimore. There's areas out there that doesn't have a grocery store, and they call it. To me, that doesn't make any sense. We're enough where we can have grocery stores, in the neighborhoods, and it's like when people call it a third world far because it does look in some places that bad. We're talking about getting the grocery stores out there, getting some more incentives for businesses, and making sure that they hire with that big thing. We see a lot of companies come in and they don't people that are there. They'll rather bring in new people. And so we can't have that. There's a lot of senior citizens in the West Baltimore area, and that they are vulnerable and they need assistance as well. So, we just been talking to the administration, and they're excited to help out.
So with the other candidates, because now it's just running up against the to be the nominee for the Republican side. How has the
Mhm.
community, because you've been out there, and I'm pretty sure you more and more out there now in a community with the voters. Like, how do you think that the voters, like, what you think the voter turnout gonna be like? between you and the other
Yeah.
Republican candidate.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough. I mean, like I said, there's 8 of us, so we know it's going to be a low vote special election. I mean, I tell everybody I can, February 4th is April 28th is the general. But you know, the vote's going to be split 8 ways. I mean, we got to understand that. Hoping, you know, the fact that right now we had to see report how much cash we had on hand, and so we have 64,000 on hand, which isn't that much, you know. But my reported $4,600 on hand. So we're at, you know, because we can send out the mailers, because we have lots of signage, because I have a lot of people knocking doors, we have a big team. Worth it, because at the end of the day, that's how we're going to get people out, is just being face to face with people. So we're hopefully turns into votes, because we'll hopefully reach, or we even have text messages coming out to hard Republican voters, just, you know, reminding them tomorrow's the day. So hoping that'll help out. Of course, during February 4th, on that day, we have location. I'll be hopping in the car, going to every poll, you know, meeting everybody, and then hopefully that does the trick, you know.
Yeah, well, I hear you say like you have a team, because I noticed a lot of people, a lot of candidates on the right. I won't say all of them, but a lot of majority of them that's running, it's like they have this misconception that just because they're a Trump supporter and they heavy on Twitter, that's going to be good enough for the votes. Like I'll be asking them, like, do you break down each precinct? Do you break down so you can have people cover all these areas? Like, social media cannot be the only way that you think you're gonna. I mean, you could say you got this big, huge following on social media, but that has nothing to do with people that's directly that can vote for you. And I'll be thinking, like, what kind of campaign is these people running? Like, how do you think you're gonna win?
Right. No, you're absolutely right, and that's why, you know, and people don't think about the fact that a lot of social media at all. Those are important, and like one mailer to all of the Republican homes in District 7, that's $8,000. So you gotta have, unless you're dropping them off by hand at each home, money to be able to send this stuff out. And so we only have 2 mailers coming out. Like I said in the text messages, that's going to hit the ground game. You know, I don't know. I'm hoping that's what pushes us, because we can't afford to pay a larger team, and we can't afford to send out these mailers. Going off on social media, that's not helping. I mean, I put stuff like to get you know, more donors. My biggest support, I think, right now is like Florida and Texas, and in some places in California, I have small donors all across the country. And so that's why I did that challenge with, you know, for Congress t-shirt, show it on Twitter. And then I go on Fox News after you get off a hit there, you know, you'll get donations in. So, but I like that part. I mean, if you're getting small donors across the country, do you know what I mean?
Right. So so I take it by being 80 y'all on a ticket, the Republican Party, they're not going to endorse until what, after the primaries? Or have you got any
Yeah.
endorsements yet?
No. So who's my biggest opponent? She has delegates and I guess state senators. I have a state senator and a delegate. I've met with the Maryland GOP party. They've already said, okay, you know, if you get through, we'll be right there. You know, and so of course they have to wait it out.
Mhm.
I'm on the Baltimore County Republican Central. They have to do the same to be candidates. And then, of course, I've been talking to at the White House to try to figure out if I can get Trump's endorsement once if I win the.
Well, I'm pretty sure with that retweet where he had millions of people coming to you, I'm pretty sure that's the least that he can do after the primaries is to give you an endorsement, which I don't see why he wouldn't, because people, they want to say about the Baltimore's, but it's like, what happened to the millions of dollars that was given to the late congressman? Like, I mean, is that going to get swept up under the rug, or like, I mean, do anybody got an answer for any of these things? Like, I just don't understand.
Right. That was one of the biggest concerns about those took to the White House, because they know for a fact President Obama, after the riots in 2015, millions of dollars that I was in filming the video of the trash. And so it's like you have all these resources going to the nice areas in Baltimore County, right? Or Baltimore City, predominantly white neighborhood, or neighborhoods with tourist attractions, or neighborhood campaign. But here in this neighborhood, where you were supposed to put millions of dollars in it, that money is, people are still not employed, and the trash is still sitting on the ground. Trash man can't even come. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what happened to that money? And I would love for President Obama, whose money there and with good intentions, I would ask what exactly happened to the money, because I'm pretty sure he meant for it to be implemented in those areas that they just weren't. So the that I had at the White House, they actually took Congressman Cummings on a tour after the riots to show him exactly what they need to do to make this at least back to the way it was, which still wasn't great. But you know, he never really answered. If it's because at that time he was already sick, you know, I can give him the benefit of the doubt, but never responded after that. So
So
it's
where the
asking.
riot, so where the riot actually hit at, that part wasn't fixed.
No, no, that's actually where videos.
Now that don't even make sense. What sense does that make? So
Like,
where did the money? I hope that this
not a,
word went to those people, those voters, understand how important it is to have the right congressperson in the seat that's going to be for you instead of their pockets.
yeah, absolutely. Some people say, "Oh, well, you'll be in Congress. You can't do a whole lot on a local level," but that's not true. I'll have exactly oversight over any federal funds supposed to come to Baltimore or that will be on its way. And then at the same time, it's like if I'm calling out, you know, calling you out, showing that you haven't done anything with the money that was given, then you have at that point, then I will be, you know, the congressional candidate in, or the person in Congress in that whole district. And so you would have to respond to that. I really do hope people vote for me. I mean, regardless, it's like some people say, okay, what do you do? What kind of solutions you could bring? And I'll bring them up. But at the same time, just think about if you had someone in there that wasn't squandering the money or stealing, just even being transparent with the money. That would solve a lot of problems.
So what are your like top three issues that you campaign on?
My top issues, definitely term limits. I don't think we should wait for their member of Congress to die to try to take in that. I also, as far as being on Capitol Hill, I think right now we're waiting to see what would happen as far as prices and money going towards the health in that situation. I know right now we're focused on impeachment, and we don't seem to be focusing on, you know, things that can actually benefit the American people. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, we got to get Trump out of office." Your pockets. How does that help you as far as healthcare? How does that help education? It doesn't. We should also, like, if they want to focus on that kind of stuff, that's fine. But people that need to understand, we need to focus on what's going on for the day to day. I mean, we heard so much about DACA recipients before the whole impeachment conversation. Where are they now with that? I mean, do DACA recipients know if they're staying or not? I don't know. I haven't heard a thing about it. So to me, it's like, you know, let's just get back and then actually make some decisions. They've been kicking the can down the road on so many issues. It's like, you know, it's almost like they just think they could just sit there and get paid to sit there, and then they highlight the issues. They might place blame on anything. Now, I know a lot of Republican candidates are not with me on this, and that's fine. They can be against me. But I do believe we should offer birth control or oral contraceptives over the counter. In my countries all over the world already doing it. You have 11 of those countries already doing pelvic exams for women, right candidates, making sure they stay safe getting that prescription. To me, the way that we regulate it is just basically for the government to get their cut. And if we want less women going into, what a better way than to honor, because money city schools, that's the reason they're going to Planned Parenthood, to get the birth control pill. So why not get that pill prior, before having to come to that fork in the decision whether she's going to keep her baby or not? And I don't like to chastise people. I know there's a lot of candidates talking about, oh, if you're not pro-life, I can't da da da. It's like, I chose life. I got a daughter, right? She's 3 years old. I chose life. But at the same time, I'm not going to chastise someone else for what they want to choose. But I would, hey, here's an option. Make the best decision for yourself. So I know a lot of people aren't with me on that. I don't know why, but that's
it's like, either do you want abortion
well.
or do you want a pill to prevent it? Like, I mean, I'd rather go with the pill to prevent it than abortion.
Right. And I know a lot of young women that are taking, that they do offer the over-the-counter. There's young women taking that almost every month. Now, that pill is actually really dangerous. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I can't afford to go get the birth pill and take it regularly, so sometimes I have to take Plan B. Young women should not be out here popping every month. Like, no, that's not cool at all. Talk about leading to some situations that could cause cancer. That would be, so, we got to offer more options and allow women to be responsible. And, to me, that's really pro-choice.
Mm-hmm. So what would be the first thing you tackle when you do get in Congress?
That's a great question. I think the first thing I would tackle, first, I probably would want to see which committees I would be able to be appointed to. I believe, what is it? The Judicial Committee, is that the one that overrides the border and the living conditions and ICE? This whole thing with abolish ICE, so we should not be trying to abolish ICE at all. If anything, we should be giving resources. They're the ones that's actual sex trafficking situation here in this country. And, I actually have a friend that works for ICE, tells me all the time they've got serious issues, not just at the southern border, but all over the country. And I don't think people realize it. I mean, the mainstream media, they don't play it up very much, but we got a lot behind the scenes. And if we need to get some more resources out there, that's great. I also would love to tackle the issue of people not really respecting authority right now. In Baltimore City, you see a big issue with no one respecting the police officer. And to me, I'm just like, at the end of the day, the people that talk so badly about police officers are the ones that are being protected 24/7. Attorney Marilyn Mosby talking about how corrupt our police are. You got a police 24/7. How corrupt could it be? If they're so corrupt, why in town? Why are they sitting outside your house protecting it, even when you're not home? You know what I mean? So it's like there's some things where it's like they're so hypocritical, but no one calls them out for that. So those are the I'll be trying to tackle. And of course, term limits, I'm going to put that up there on day one. There's no should be serving more than 12 years at a time in Congress. Like, that's insane.
Especially when they're sick. There's like John McCain was sick and Elijah, they were sick on their deathbed, keeping their seat. That should be completely out of no. If you own an illness like that, you should not be. You need to give up your seat. Like, what are you holding a seat on for?
Right, Representative John Lewis. They told us he had stage 4 cancer. He's at home right now. So, like, how good is that doing for the country? John Lewis, is he someone that would say, wow, he did a great job? Absolutely. He was a civil rights leader for real. I mean, he did do a point. Did you say to yourself, you know what, let me step down and have someone take this seat that can run with me? That is just so selfish, the way they hang on to these seats.
It is, because at the end of the day, I mean, not to sound harsh or mean, I know God can do anything, but stage 4 cancer is very, very, very serious. And I mean, he's older,
Absolutely.
so that makes it even harder for him to fight. Like, why don't you just go and live your life with your family and spend out the rest of your days with them? Congress gonna be around long before all of us are gone. I just think that's very disingenuous to your constituents that that they hold these seats like that.
Absolutely. And I can say it on both sides. I mean, when Mitch McConnell was out because he broke his hip, I mean, like what are we doing down there? I don't know. It's like they just, like I guess they're elitist or they're almost like royalty, and we got to stop that mentality down there. We shouldn't having people sitting in these seats. I mean, members of Congress make close to what, 200 grand a year, plus they get the benefits of being a
Mhm.
politician, and then you're just sitting there
Yeah, I heard that they
nursing
get
your
those
broken hip at.
benefits. I heard they get those benefits even when they leave. They still get paid.
Exactly. Yeah, you
And just like
still get the
Ruth,
pension.
like why is Ruth on the Supreme Court? Like I don't understand why in the world that lady on it. It's no way possible that she should still. That's a very serious seat, and this lady done had. It's no way possible that she's as competent as she was within the years. Because I mean, all the stuff she be battling all at once, and you mean to tell me she can read case loads like this and digest and get everything together with a court case? No, you can't. No, I wouldn't even want her resign over anything that have to do with me.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. It makes no sense. And then like, okay, is sick, especially ill. How much could you possibly be getting done? And you're right, they get the pensions when they leave. Now, we have not opened that slush fund book at all, that $17 million that is paid for suits on Capitol Hill. So we could be voting someone in, that has been settling sexual harassment cases with taxpayer dollar that's being hidden by the Treasury Department. Now, if that's
Why?
not
I
the
wonder why.
opposite of
Why is
transparency,
that hidden? Why?
so well, see, and I looked at that, and it almost looks at around 1996, I believe, and so that would put us, after the Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And so I think, they on Capitol Hill then decided, oh, we got to protect ourselves so we don't end up like Bill, right? And I think that's what President Trump would get in there and expose that book. I was hoping he would. Mia Love from Utah, she was hoping to do the same. You see, she was not reelected. So I'm hoping I can get in there and do that. And so a lot of people said, well, you're not going to make any friends on Capitol Hill. And I'm like, make friends. Like, you know what I mean? This ain't daycare. I'm going down there to work. So I guess they just won't like me.
No, that ain't the thing. So before we go, tell the people how they can help your campaign, which I have your stuff, your Twitter handle and your website below, but tell the people how they can help you and about when people in Baltimore the day they can come out and actually vote for you.
Yes. So
Mhm.
kimkforcongress.com. Kim K Baltimore. And if you go to Facebook or YouTube or even Instagram, you'll see Kimberly Klacik. Just type that in, and then I'll come up. Is the voting February 4th is a special primary, April 28th election. The general, if they want to actually come out and help us knock the word out, or even just being can post on social media, anything like that, email into kimk4congress.com, and we'll send them all the information. We'll send out dates. I believe this is knocking doors all week. And if they want to do a shift, a 4-hour shift of just helping to knock doors in certain neighborhoods, you can even choose which neighborhood you want to go into. It might be something closer by to your house, but we need all the help we can get, and we're hoping a Republican will finally sit in this seat since 1953.
I think you can do it by you actually reaching the voters and not just using the excuse that everyone is fed up with Democrats. That's another thing. Like, I don't know. That's not it. You got to go out there to the people that can actually vote. You have to go to the people that can vote for you. And by you being ahead with the mailers, the phone calls, I think you actually, I'm be excited for you on the 4th to see how the
Thank
outcome is. So thank you for coming
Thank
on to
you. I
my
appreciate it.
show. And everybody, make sure y'all go out and donate to her. If you can't donate, if you're in the Baltimore area, reshare this, retweet her information, send it to all your people that's in that area so they can get the word out. Put it in your groups that's on Facebook. Facebook have so many groups. I would recommend as you go on there. Trust me, I'm probably sure it's a whole bunch of Baltimore groups that's in there that you can join to get your word out.
Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you all for tuning in with Talessia with the hot seat. Kim, just hold on. And I will see you all again this Sunday. You're now tuned in with Street Politics with Talessia, reporting from the streets to the White House. With all this latest one-way report, we are here to bring it to you straight and uncut.